You don't need LangChain to build an AI agent. That's the claim, and I'm going to argue it honestly. Here's what nobody tells you. An agent is about 20 lines of code. A framework wraps those 20 lines in over 800 classes, and most of the time, you never needed the wrapper. But I'm not here to dunk on it. I'll give the framework its strongest case, show you what an agent actually is underneath, rebuild it raw in front of you, and then tell you exactly where a framework earns its keep. Type "do I need LangChain" into Google and you drown in hot takes. And the pull is real. It's the most popular agent framework there is, around 134,000 stars on GitHub, more than 1,000 ready-made integrations. It feels like the default, the safe choice. So before we take it apart, let's build it up. Chapter 1. The strongest case for frameworks. Say your agent needs to talk to a dozen vector databases and 8 different model providers. Raw, that's a pile of adapters you write and maintain by hand. LangChain ships more than 1,000 of those connectors already written. Swap Pinecone for Postgres, swap GPT-4 for Claude, and it's a one-line change. That is genuinely valuable, and it's work you would otherwise repeat. And it is not a toy. Around 400 companies run agents on the LangGraph platform in production: Uber, LinkedIn, JP Morgan, BlackRock. The company behind it raised $125 million in late 2025 at a $1.25 billion valuation. Serious people are betting serious money that this abstraction is worth it. And out of the box, you get things you would otherwise build yourself: streaming, automatic retries, conversation memory, tracing, one standard way to define a tool. For a team that wants a running agent this afternoon, that head start is real. Chapter 2. So what is an agent actually? Strip away every abstraction and an agent is 2 things: a loop and some tools. The model reads your request. It decides to call a tool. Your code runs the tool. The result goes back to the model. It loops until it's done. That's it. That is the entire pattern, and you've seen it before on this channel. And this isn't a toy pattern you'll never meet again. The coding agents you already use run this exact loop. Claude Code cursors agent mode, GitHub Copilot's agent underneath. Each one sends messages, gets back tool calls, runs them against your file system or your shell, and appends the result. Read a file, edit a file, run the tests, read the error, try again. Same loop, same shape, just more tools and a longer transcript. Give one a browser and it books flights. Give it your terminal and it ships deploys. Still the same 3 moves? The thing that makes them feel like magic isn't a framework wrapped around the loop. It's the model in the middle and the tools you handed it. Once you've seen the 20 lines, you've seen the skeleton of every agent you have ever used. And talking to the model? It's one HTTP call. You send a list of messages, you get back JSON. The intelligence lives in the model, not in any code wrapped around it. So here's the mental model I want you to hold on to. A framework is a phrasebook. It hands you pre-printed sentences for talking to the model. Fast, as long as you only ever need the sentences it printed for you. So what does the framework actually do for the core agent? It runs that loop for you. The send, the parse, the tool call, the append, the repeat. It wraps all of it. Which sounds helpful, until you notice the loop was never the hard part. Chapter 3. Let's rebuild it raw. Here's a working agent in about 15 lines of Python on the raw Anthropic SDK, no framework. A dictionary of tools. A schema that lists them. A while loop that sends the messages, checks whether the model asks for a tool, runs it, and feeds the result back. Read it top to bottom. Nothing is hidden. Look at what each piece is. Tools are just functions in a dictionary, keyed by name. The stop condition is the model returning text instead of a tool call. A transcript is a list you keep appending to. There's no magic object, no base class to inherit from. If it breaks, the bug is right there on the screen in front of you. Run it. Ask it the weather in Tokyo. The model emits a tool call, your code runs the function, hands back the result, and the model writes the final answer. Same behavior a framework would have given you, but every moving part is yours. Now, watch what owning the loop actually buys you. Say you never want this agent to run a tool for a city on a block list. In a framework, that's a callback you register or a feature you wait for. Here, it's a few lines you drop straight into the loop. Before you run the tool, check the input, and if it's off limits, refuse instead. That's the mid-run control we'll come back to later, and it costs you one if statement. Want to log every tool call the model makes? One print. Want to cap the loop at 10 turns so a confused model can't spin forever and burn your budget? A counter and a break. Every guardrail is ordinary code, sitting in the loop you already own, not a setting you go hunting for in someone else's docs. That's the whole engine. Everything LangChain does for a single agent is a layer on top of what you just saw. Remember the phrase book? Right here, you stopped reading pre-printed sentences, and you started speaking the language yourself. Chapter 4. The tax you pay for the wrapper. Here's the catch. To use the abstraction, you first have to learn the abstraction. LangChain spans more than 800 classes across its packages. That's a second whole thing to master on top of the model, and when your agent misbehaves, you're now debugging their abstraction, not your logic. And it moves fast. Version 0.1 landed in January 2024. By version 0.3 that September, they had migrated the whole thing from Pedantic 1 to Pedantic 2, a breaking change that rippled through everyone's code. Build on a fast-moving abstraction, and your code rots when the abstraction shifts underneath you. Here's the one that hurts in production. A common complaint is that the framework gives you no clean way to observe or control the agent's state while it is running. It's a glass box. You can watch it go, but you can't reach in mid-run and change its mind based on your own business rules. Raw, that control is just an if statement inside your loop. And this isn't hypothetical. Octamind ran LangChain in production for over a year, then ripped it out entirely in 2024. Their reason? The rigid abstractions made their agent code harder to understand and maintain than the thing it replaced. A real team paid the tax, and then walked away from it. And the raw path scales further than you think. Teams dropping the framework for simple retrieval agents, rebuilt on the plain OpenAI or Anthropic SDK, plus a couple hundred lines of their own orchestration, 200 to 400 lines, all readable, all theirs. The 20 lines grew into a few hundred. They never grew into 800 classes. Now the honest flip side, because owning the loop isn't free, what I showed you is the happy path. Real models rate limit you, they time out, and once in a while they hand back a malformed tool call. Raw, every one of those is yours to handle. You wrap the request and a retry was back off. You validate the arguments before you run the tool. You decide what happens when a tool itself throws an exception halfway through. That is exactly the streaming, the retries, and the error handling the framework gave you in Chapter 1 for free. None of it is hard code, but it is code you now write, own, and maintain. So the 20 lines are honest for the core loop. The moment you go to production, budget another chunk of your own for the unglamorous parts nobody puts in a demo. Chapter 5. Where a framework earns its place. So when should you actually reach for one? First, when integration breadth is the real job. If you genuinely swap providers and vector stores constantly, those 1,000 pre-written connectors save you real work. That was never the weak part of the argument, and I'm not going to pretend it was. But even that connector argument is shifting under our feet. The strongest case for a framework was those 1,000 pre-written integrations. Now there's an open standard doing the same job, the Model Context Protocol. A tool server speaks MCP. Once, and any agent, raw or framework, can call it, with no custom adapter preparing. The breadth that used to live locked inside one framework is turning into a protocol that anyone can plug into. So more and more, you can get the integrations without renting the whole abstraction just to reach them. It's young and still settling, so this is a bet on where things are heading, not a finished story. It doesn't kill the framework's case, but it does shrink it. The part that was hardest to argue against is the part an open standard is quietly taking over. Second, scale and teams. When 40 engineers ship agents onto the same platform, A shared framework becomes a common language, one way to trace them, deploy them, and reason about them. That's why Uber and JP Morgan standardize on one instead of 100 hand-rolled loops that no two engineers wrote the same way. Third, speed, when you don't know the shape yet. Early on, when you're not even sure what your agent needs to be, the battery's included head start can be worth the tax you'll pay later, as long as you know you're paying it. So here's the honest rule. Reach for the framework when your hard problem is orchestration at scale. Skip it when your hard problem is one agent doing one job well. The complexity should live in your problem, not in your dependencies. Screenshot this. The whole agent is a while loop. Send the messages, check the reply for a tool call, run the tool, append the result, and repeat until the model answers in text. And the only decision that matters, write the loop when one agent does one job. Reach for a framework when orchestration at scale is the hard problem. The take that survives the skeptic isn't frameworks are bad. It's this. The 20 lines are the thing you should understand first. Learn those, and the framework becomes a choice you make on purpose, instead of a default you reach for out of fear. So, do you need LangChain? Now you can actually answer that for your own project. Tell me in the comments what you're building, and whether it's a loop or a framework. I built one of these from scratch. The full breakdown is on the channel.